Hey everybody, my name's Aaron, this is the 5 Red Lights and welcome to my Azerbaijan Grand Prix preview. Today we're going to be looking at the potential fortunes of Mercedes and Lando Norris, and in the second part we'll be looking at your best Baku moments and I will be making my predictions with the help of F1 trends. Before I start, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe if you're new and check out my other content. I released my video of the May Driver of the Month as voted by you, the 5 Red Lights audience, and it was an absolute landslide victory, but who for? Check it out and find out for yourself. So with all that said, let's dive into the video and the first part of my Azerbaijan Grand Prix preview.
1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's go, 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 go!
So, can Mercedes strike back in Baku? It was unusual to see Mercedes have such a tough weekend as they did in Monte Carlo, with a DNF for Valtteri Bottas after his front right tyre failed to come off at the pit stop, and only P7 at the end of the race for Lewis Hamilton. They struggled a lot with tyre warm-up, which left them with a double headache really of tyre wear with both cars, one because the tyres weren't heating up enough, and one in Bottas's case where he was able to heat them up effectively, but then they overheated and they wore too much. Now, the nature of the Mercedes design philosophy with the long wheelbase doesn't really lend itself to being favourable on a twisty circuit like Monaco. But what about Azerbaijan? It's kind of a mixture of both. Tyre warm-up could still be an issue with the low grip surface of the circuit and the tall buildings casting shadows which will cool the track temperatures. The high-speed section after the castle to the finish line might prove helpful in building temps up, but with a safety car always likely in Baku, don't count on it. Mercedes have had success in Baku before, winning 3 out of the 4 races held there, with Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas all being victorious. Daniel Ricciardo, the surprise winner in the crazy 2017 race. Mercedes have taken pole position, crucially, on every visit to Baku. They've also been able to follow other cars fairly closely this year, which is something they haven't really been able to do in years gone by. And better still, given their powerful M12E performance Mercedes engine in the back, they should be in a good place to bounce back from their Monaco woes. Which driver comes out on top though? I'm going to pick Valtteri Bottas. He's got a decent record in Baku. He finished ahead of Hamilton 2 out of the 3 times they've been teammates, and while both have had bad luck causing them to end up behind their teammate, Bottas won from pole in 2019, the last race there of course, when Mercedes locked out the front row, and he is my tip from within the Mercedes team. After the race in Monte Carlo, Carlos Sainz tipped Lando Norris and McLaren to do really well in Baku. Now, Carlos was reversing the roles of that weekend after it was revealed that Lando had messaged Carlos ahead of the race in the Principality to suggest that Ferrari might be strong and that Carlos had a shot at victory on the streets of Monaco. Carlos was close and Lando was right behind him, and McLaren have benefited from the Mercedes power unit in 2021, but their chassis has been pretty strong pretty much everywhere else. Of course, they have strength where Ferrari might be weaker and vice versa, and that's just how things go in sport. But is Carlos right though? He described the McLaren as a rocket, and the speed trap data provided by Formula 1 Trends suggests he might be. McLaren have had a higher top speed average in the speed traps than Ferrari at all bar one race this season. That one race was at the Spanish Grand Prix. Now that might be where Ferrari's strength in the final sector led them to have good runs onto the main straight, and they were able to carry that top speed. But McLaren had the quickest car on the straights in Monaco, for what it's worth. While I don't think the McLaren are contenders for victory, there could be some massive benefits to be had from the Mercedes power unit inside the MCL 35M. Ferrari have improved their power unit from 2020, but it still struggles at the top end of the speedometer. A podium is a possibility for either driver though for McLaren in Baku. Lando is riding the crest of a wave. He is in the form of his life. He's third in the World Championship. He's got 2 podiums already this season and he's comfortably outperforming his new teammate Daniel Ricciardo. But don't despair yet, Daniel fans. Daniel is a winner around the streets of Baku, and he's brilliant on the brakes. That seems to be where he's struggling though in the McLaren. If he can get that right this weekend, he might be in a very strong position. The powerful Mercedes power unit will be good down the straights too. McLaren are in a strong position, and if that car is as much of a rocket as Carlos Sainz thinks it is, McLaren will be looking to score big points over rivals Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. So that's it for part 1 of my Azerbaijan Grand Prix preview. Stay tuned for part 2, which will include your best Baku moments and my predictions ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. As ever, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for that second part of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix preview. Check out my other content, like my drive crate unboxings, my reactions to things as they happen, like Ferrari topping practice in Monaco, and also my Winning with Williams series is really picking up pace as well. That's all for today. My name's Aaron. This has been the 5 Red Lights, and I'll see you when the 5 Red Lights go out next time. Bye for now.